Good afternoon, Raven fans, and welcome to Game 2 of this afternoon's doubleheader between your Anderson University Ravens and the visiting Earlham College Quakers. The AU men's team comes in at 9-9 on the season, 4-7 in conference play, while Earlham is 5-13 on the season, 3-8 in HCAC play. AU has still yet to pick up a conference win at home. Pretty remarkable with as strong as they were inside O.C. Lewis last season. They've just not been able to get it done at home, and they need a win desperately here this afternoon as they're currently 7th, tied with Franklin at 4-7 in the conference, but Franklin has 2 wins over AU for that tiebreaker. So Franklin in 6th and AU in 7th. Earlham right behind in 8th. So AU needs to pick up a win here this afternoon as the top 6 teams will make the conference tournament. And AU trying to get to that 6th spot. Last time out for AU, they dropped a close one at Franklin at 76-62. Stan Duncan led the way with 21 for AU, and Cole Hartman added 19 points in his return from injury. Speaking of Hartman, he's looking to become the 3rd Raven to join the 1,000-point club this season alone. He enters today with 984 points, needs 16 to become the 39th member of AU's, the 39th member of AU's 1,000-point club, and averaging 14.8 points a game. We know that's something Cole is definitely capable of. Trevor Lucas was the 37th member of the club in only the 2nd game of the season, while Stan Duncan joined the club back last Wednesday against Rose Holman. Duncan is now 36th on the all-time list, and he's 18 behind Charles Harris for 35th. If Hartman joins the club today, he will be the 3rd member of the season of the team to join this season inside O.C. Lewis. So the fans have been able to support both Trevor and Stan as they've achieved that prestigious mark. See if they'll be able to do so with Cole again today. No national anthem before this game, as they did it before the girls' game. The Earlham women's team picked up a win in Game 1 of the doubleheader. So we will head straight into starting lineups and then begin this afternoon's game. Starting first for the visiting Quakers, a 6'3" sophomore guard out of Gary, Indiana, and Thea Bowman. Number 0, Kenneth Stalling Jr. A 6'2" senior guard out of Goldsboro, North Carolina. Number 5 is Elijah Wilson Thomas. A 6-foot freshman guard out of Muncie Central. Number 12, Jamel Barnes. A 6'5" sophomore wing out of Crown Point. Number 20, Thomas Sanborn. And a 6'4" junior forward out of Crispus Attucks, number 35, Daryl Hutchinson. The Quakers are led by Coach Jason Polikoff. He's assisted by Joe Shears, Eric Chisholm, Joe Adams, and Thomas McMullen. And the starters for your Anderson University Ravens. A 6-foot senior guard out of Brownsburg, Indiana, number 0, Trevor Lucas. A 6'5" junior guard out of Evansville, Indiana, number 12, Stanley Duncan. A 6'6" junior forward out of Auburn, Indiana, number 20, Cole Hartman. A 6'4" freshman wing out of Franklin, Indiana, number 22, Maurice Knight. And a 6'6" junior forward out of Franklin, Indiana, number 40, Brady Ashton. The Ravens are led by head coach Owen Handy, assisted by Tom Beach, Javon McGraw, and Carter Collins. Earlham wearing their road maroon uniforms, white numbers and lettering. AU in their home grays with orange numbers, lettering, and white trim. We've seen how effective AU is offensively this season. They lead the nation in free throw percentage. They're shooting 81% from the free throw line, and their number 7 at 49.5%, a team that can really fill it up. They're averaging 82 points a game, but they give up. Can the Ravens get stops? When they played at Earlham earlier this year, they came away victorious 97-89. That was way back on December 2nd. AU was really firing on all cylinders at that point of the season. They've been up and down ever since. See if AU can get back to that offensive execution, but add in more stops in this afternoon's game. Jumping center for the Quakers will be Stalling Jr. Ravens back on the bench talking things over with Coach Handy. Saw some extra bounce out of the Raven legs during pregame warmups. Didn't have a morning shoot around. See if they're a little fresher this afternoon. Looks like Ashton will jump for AU. Tip won by Stalling, and Earlham begins with possession. Sanborn lets a three go over Duncan, rims out, rebound tracked down by Lucas. Lucas ahead to Hartman in transition. Hartman pulls it back out, gives to Lucas. Knight, a lot of pressure from Wilson Thomas. Knight rips through, looks to drive right, and he's bodied as he hits the deck. Draws the foul on Wilson Thomas, his first team first. Hartman. Knight. Finds Duncan coming off a screen. Stan steps into three from the left wing. Just missed. Rebound Sanborn. Now Barnes pushes ahead to Stalling Jr. He attacks the basket, runs over Ashton. No call. Can't believe that wasn't either a block or a charge, but play continues. And Hutchinson hits from the corner. Earlham leads 2-0. Duncan to Knight. Knight puts it on the floor. Was looking for Hartman backdoor, but lost the handle. Instead finds Lucas way downtown. Trevor Lucas, from 3 feet off the line, hits the three. Ravens lead 3-2. Barnes gives to Wilson Thomas. Now Hutchinson throws it to Stalling. He's falling, gets it back to Hutchinson. Now Sanborn. Stalling sizes up Hartman, crosses over. Up and under, beat Hartman, and he banks it in. A good move. Kenneth Stalling on the board. Earlham back in front. Lucas attacks in transition. He's fouled on the reach. That foul's charged to Stalling. Duncan to Ashton. Lazy pass from Ashton, stolen by Wilson Thomas. A 2-on-1 with Wilson Thomas and Hutchinson. Gives back to the trailing Hutchinson, and he lays it in. Darrell Hutchinson with 4. Earlham leads 6-3. Hartman steps back, gives to Knight. Now Lucas faked the three. Now steps back on Stalling, gives to Hartman. 15 on the clock. Hartman finds Lucas cutting back door. His layup is good. Finishes over the outstretched arms of Hutchinson, and Trevor Lucas with all 5 AU points. Good transition defense from Hartman as he stops Barnes. Now Lucas picks him up. Stalling looks to drive at Hartman. Kicks open to Sanborn. Left wing three. That's short. Rebound ripped down by Cole Hartman. Lucas pushes in transition. Attacks the basket. Has it poked free by Stalling. Say it was out of bounds. Last touched by Lucas. So Earlham basketball. First turnover of the afternoon for AU. Barnes. His pass intended for a cutting backdoor. Hutchinson stolen by Ashton. Lucas pushes. Euro steps up with the right hand. No good, but he's fouled, and he'll head to the line to shoot 2. fouls on Wilson Thomas, his second. First free throw from Lucas is good. Bailey Stewart will sub in as he'll replace Wilson Thomas. Lucas hits both free throws. AU back in front 7-6. Trevor Lucas currently outscoring the Quakers. Hutchinson to Barnes. Barnes splits Ashton and Lucas, and he's fouled by Ashton. Stalling to Barnes. Hutchinson gives to Stalling, now back to Hutchinson. One dribble pull up, left it short. Rebound is Hartman's. He outlets to Lucas. A lot of contact. Lucas, his pass for Duncan was tipped high up in the air. Duncan tips it back to Lucas. And Lucas is fouled. That's on Stewart. Duncan inbounds. Ashton gives to Knight. 15 on the clock. Knight guarded by Sanborn. Sanborn reaches in. Knight gives to Duncan. Ashton finds Knight cutting back door. Knight's shot wiped away by Stalling. And pushing ahead in transition is Barnes. Stalling attacks back at Knight. Pass it inside to Hutchinson, and he's fouled by Lucas. That's Lucas's second foul. As Hutchinson heads to the line. 70% free throw shooter on the season. Hits the first. So both teams' leading scorers now on the bench with 2 fouls. Wilson Thomas, averaging 16.5 a game for the Quakers, sits with 2. And Lucas, averaging 20.7 for the Ravens, sits with 2. LaFoon and Davidson in for AU, replace Hartman and Lucas. Sanborn out for the Quakers. He's replaced by Cheney Zolman. Hutchinson hits both free throws. Earlham back in front 8-7. LaFoon will bring it across for AU. Dribble handoff to Ashton. Now Duncan. Stan puts it on the floor, pulls up from 9, no good. Davidson fights the rebound inside, but he's called for the foul. So he pushed off pursuing the offensive rebound. So his basket will not count. Barnes. Hands to Stewart. Stalling. Back to Barnes. Barnes comes off a screen. Good screen defense from LaFoon and Davidson, but a deep 3 from Barnes, no good. Knight has the rebound, gives to LaFoon. LaFoon has a step, attacks the basket, he's fouled on the floor, no shot. Good push and transition from the sophomore guard, LaFoon. That's the 5th team foul already on the Quakers, 2nd on Stewart. Duncan and Knight out as Krieger and Peters check in. And Hartman back into the game, replaces Ashton. Dalaboa checks in for the Quakers, replaces Stewart. Inbound to Davidson. Now Laffoon gives to Krieger. Krieger puts it on the floor, gives to Hartman. Hartman faces up on Hutchinson, gives to Laffoon. Laffoon kicks to Krieger, 10 on the clock. Laffoon, Hartman shuffled his feet, and he's called for the walk. Barnes. Pull-up jump shot from Hutchinson over Davidson. That's good. Earlham's lead now 3. Krieger, top of the key, fake the 3, attacks the basket. Kicks to Peters in the corner. Peters attacks Sanborn. Kicks back out to Krieger. Krieger drives, kicks to Hartman. Hartman thought about the 3, instead attacks. Kicks out to Laffoon. Ball swung to Krieger. He lets the 3 go, no good. Offensive rebound, Davidson. Davidson kicks out to Hartman. Now Peters top of the key. Ravens reset the offense. Krieger fumbled the catch. Loose ball, tipped out of bounds. Earlham basketball. Mad scramble pursued as players from both teams touched that basketball, but official says it belongs to Earlham. Dalaboa drives on Krieger, and that shot blocked by Laffoon. As Zolman went up with the shot, it was blocked out of bounds. Stays Quaker basketball. Hutchinson goes to work on Davidson, has it poked free, and Hartman comes away with it. Hartman will bring it across. He gives to Laffoon, finds Peters, and Peters lays it in with the right hand. Great transition offense from the Ravens. 10-9, 13:40 left in the first half. Sanborn finds a cutting Dalaboa, and he runs over Krieger. Offensive foul is called. That's the 6th team foul. Ravens will shoot free throws the rest of the way in the first half. Laffoon finds Hartman. Hartman gives to Krieger. Krieger pull up from the left elbow, too strong. Rebound Dalaboa. Dalaboa brings it across. Now he's stopped by Krieger. Gives to Hutchinson. Now Barnes, he's guarded by Laffoon. 15 on the clock. He wants a screen from Hutchinson. Kicks to Sanborn. Sanborn looks to drive on Peters. Skip pass out to Dalaboa. Thrown inside to Hutchinson. That pass tipped by Davidson off of Hutchinson, and it's Raven basketball. Great defensive possession there from AU. Rotated well on the skip pass. Ravens struggling a bit offensively, but they're defending very well in the first 7 minutes of this game. Krieger. Now Laffoon. Hartman on the right wing. Lets the 3 fly. No good. Rebound belongs to Laffoon. Kicks back out to Hartman. Looks to drive on Hutchinson. Up with the left hand. No good. And the rebound was Sanborn. And now pushing in transition is Barnes. Out of bounds. Last touch by AU. Remains Quaker basketball. El Dasugi checks in for the first time, and Stalling back in as well as Zolman and Dalaboa check out. And mounted to Stalling. Bank shot over Peters. That's good. Earlham back in front, 12-9. Laffoon gives to Peters. Peters finds Krieger cutting backdoor. Krieger, great leave inside to Hartman. Up with the left hand and one. Hartman fouled, assisted by by Krieger, as Duncan will be checking back in at the next dead ball, and Cole Hartman has a chance to tie this game back up. Duncan replaces Peters. And Knight back in as well. He'll replace Davidson. Hartman, a 91% free throw shooter on the season. That's good. Ravens need to get a stop here. Stalling to Hutchinson. Hutchinson hands off to Barnes, has a step, attack the basket up with the left hand, left it short. Duncan with the rebound, and he gives to LaFoon. LaFoon pushes the pace in transition. Now the Ravens will set up their offense. Knight, top of the key. Jabs and gives to Krieger. Swung to LaFoon. LaFoon has a step, attack the basket, finds Hartman inside, and Hartman up the left hand, lays it in. Another assist for LaFoon. Ravens lead 14-12. Barnes. Looks to drive on LaFoon. He's cut off. 8 on the clock. Barnes in the circle. Has a screen from Hutchinson. LaFoon over the screen. Barnes kicks back to Hutchinson. 15-footer from straight on. No good. Hartman with the rebound. Krieger gives to Duncan. Duncan attacks the lane. Pass inside for Hartman. Hartman up the left hand. Lays it in, assisted by Duncan. Ravens in front 16-12. Hutchinson to Barnes. Hutchinson attacks the basket. And won a great finish from Hutchinson. He hit the floor hard. Foul's called on Duncan. Ashton back in for the Ravens. And Zolman back in for the Quakers. And Earlham wants a timeout. Full timeout called. 10:30 left in the first half. AU leads 16-14. So Hutchinson already with 10 points. Looks to complete the three-point play. Left the free throw short. Duncan has the rebound. LaFoon to Knight. Duncan. Looking inside to Hartman. His pass tipped out of bounds. Duncan will inbound from the baseline. Inbounded to Hartman. He gives to Knight, top of the key. Finds Duncan. Duncan puts on 4, attacks Barnes. Basket will not count. An offensive foul called. They say that Slane had the spot. That's Duncan's second, 5th team, and that'll bring Krieger into the game. Barnes gives to Sanborn. Now Slane, his first touch. Gives to Stalling. Barnes out at the volleyball line. Sanborn puts it on the floor, looks to drive on Krieger, kicks to Stalling. Now he looks to attack Knight. 12-foot pull-up, too strong. Knight soars for the rebound. And LaFoon brings it up for AU. Ashton. LaFoon attacks the basket, has a step. Great wraparound pass inside to Hartman, who lays it in with the left hand. What a find from LaFoon. He's got 3 assists already. 9 minutes to play in the first half. Hartman comes away with the steal, throws it up in the front court, but it's tracked down by Stalling, and now he attacks the basket, kicks to Sanborn, corner 3, rims out. Rebound still loose, out of bounds. The last touch by Earlham. It's AU basketball. LaFoon splits the defenders, kicks to Knight. Now Hartman kicks out to Krieger, lets the 3 go, just rims out. Rebound is Zolmans. Now Barnes looks to drive on LaFoon. He's cut off. Good defense from LaFoon. Stalling. Inside, Sanborn gets Krieger in the air with a fake. Tricked the layup, but gets his own rebound. Fades and sticks the putback. 18-16, 8:20 to play in the half. Knight to Krieger. Back to Knight. Skip pass to LaFoon. Attacks the basket. Up with the right hand, Figueroa lays it in. Malik LaFoon on the board with his first basket. Ravens lead back to 4. Barnes comes off a screen, finds Zolman, and he's fouled by Ashton. Got him in the air on the fake. And that'll send Shaney Zolman to the line. First free throw from Zolman, too strong. Davidson, Peters, and Lucas back in for the Ravens. Replace Krieger, LaFoon, and Ashton. Zolman is 72% free throw shooter on the season. And checking back in for the Quakers is Dalaboa as he replaces Stalling. Zolman's second free throw is good. Back to a 1-possession game. Lucas got to be careful here, playing with 2. Peters to Lucas. Now Knight gives to Hartman, 15 on the clock. Lucas way downtown from straight on, missed everything. Davidson throws it off of Hutchinson, and it's AU basketball. Good work from Davidson on the offensive glass. Just out-hustled Hutchinson to the basketball. And now the officials are going to discuss if it hit the rim or not to reset the clock. Official says it did. Gray's rim going down. So the shot clock does reset for AU. 7:37 on the game clock. Lucas will inbound. Lucas pass stolen by Zolman. Now Wilson Thomas, he's playing with 2 fouls, pushes it. Peters in transition, missed the layup. Davidson rips down the rebound, and Hutchinson called for the over-the-back foul. That's his first. And Davidson will head to the line. For as great of a free throw shooting team as AU has been this season, again, tops in the nation at 81%. Wes has had his struggles there, only a 43% free throw shooter, 9 of 21 on the season. He'll shoot the 1-and-1 here. Try and make this a 2-possession game. Hits the first. Now Hartman and Lucas leave the lane line. All 4 Ravens back on defense. Davidson alone at the stripe. Second free throw from Wes. He hits both. Ravens in front 22-17. Jamel Barnes walks it across for the Quakers. He's picked up by Lucas. Has a screen from Zolman, steps back, loses Lucas. He'll let the 3 go from straight on, no good. Davidson yanks down the rebound. Lucas has the ball screen from Davidson. Looks to attack Hutchinson, finds Peters, top of the key. Peters attacks, kicks to Knight. Knight thought about the 3, instead drives on Wilson Thomas. Up with the right-handed floater. Mo Knight, a great take to the basket. Wilson Thomas couldn't defend too aggressively with those 2 fouls. Ravens in front 24-17. Barnes to Hutchinson on the right wing. Wilson Thomas has a step on Knight, finds Zolman, and Zolman's shot wiped away by Knight. Davidson with the rebound. Gives to Peters. Peters will bring it across. Lucas, his pass mishandled by Hartman, but Hartman tracks it down. Finds Knight in the corner. Lucas, Peters. Peters crosses over, attacks Dalabo, up with the floater, no good. Dalabo with the rebound. Ashton Laffoon back in for the Ravens, the next dead ball. Wilson Thomas has a step on Knight. Wraparound pass inside, out of bounds, at the feet of Zolman. Hartman and Lucas back out of the game for the Ravens. So Laffoon, Knight, Ashton, Davidson, and Peters on the floor for the Ravens. Stalling, Barnes, Sanborn, Hutchinson, and Zolman for the Quakers. Laffoon. Bounce pass to Ashton. Ashton attacks Zolman. Finds Laffoon cutting back door. Laffoon lost the handle, trying to go up with the pull-up jump shot. It's the 7th AU turnover. Krieger back in, replaces Knight. Barnes walks it across. Gives to Wilson Thomas. Hutchinson inside on Davidson, up with the right hand, lays it in. 24-19, 5:30 to play in the half. Laffoon to Krieger. Krieger puts it on the deck. Now finds Laffoon. Ashton to Davidson. Davidson faces up on Hutchinson. Fades. Just rims out. Rebound is Stallings. Barnes again slows the pace for the Quakers. This game has definitely been played at Earlham's pace, not AU's. Davidson tips that pass intended for Hutchinson, but Hutchinson tracks it down. Skip pass to Stalling in the corner. Now back to Wilson Thomas. He'll let the 3 go from the right wing, and that's good. Laffoon. To Peters. Now Krieger. Lazy pass intended for Peters, stolen by Wilson Thomas. And Wilson Thomas lays it in. It's a tied game, 24-all, 5-0 run for Earlham and Elijah Wilson Thomas. Ravens offense has stagnated the last few trips. Laffoon inside to Davidson, and he lays it in with the right hand. That's Malik's 4th assist of the first half. Barnes to Wilson Thomas. Sanborn swung to Stalling in the corner. Now Barnes, top of the key, 15 on the clock. Wilson Thomas steps back into a three and misses everything. Rebound lands in the lap of Davidson. Terrible shot selection there by the Quakers. Laffoon initiates a set for AU. Krieger fouled away from the ball as he's held by Barnes. And that'll send Corey Krieger to the line nearly automatic. 31 of 33 on the season, 94%. Hartman back in the game. Replaces Davidson. Front end from Krieger is good. Krieger hits both. And Knight back into the lineup replaces him. Barnes hands off to Wilson Thomas. Now Hutchinson to Stalling. Back to Barnes. Finds Stalling cutting back door. His reverse. Great finish on the up and under. Back to a one-possession game. Laffoon gives to Peters. Ash in the high post. His pass inside for Hartman. Too hot to handle. Wilson Thomas ahead to Barnes. Earlham a chance to tie or take the lead. Barnes to Hutchinson. Hutchinson steps back on Ashton. His pull-up jump shot's off right. Rebounds Knights. Laffoon. Hartman gives to Peters. Finds Laffoon flaring. Laffoon pull up from the right corner. That's short. Zolman called for the travel. He fell after he got the rebound. Possession stays with the Ravens. Peters out of the game for AU, replaced by Krieger checking back in. Krieger to Laffoon. Puts it on the deck, attacks Barnes up with the right hand. Malik Laffoon, strong take to the basket. Good offensive first half from Laffoon. 4 points go along with 4 assists. Ravens back in front by 2 possessions. Hutchinson to Stalling on the left wing. Back to Barnes. Wilson Thomas looks to drive on Knight. Skips to Stallings. Stallings to Hutchinson. Baseline jump shot. That's good. And Hutchinson with 14. Hutchinson has already matched his season average here in the first half. Laffoon attacks Zolman up with the right hand. No good. Official say was straight up. Loose ball secured by Stalling. Ahead to Wilson Thomas, but a 1-on-4. He'll pull a transition 3. Terrible shot. And Ashton has the rebound. And now Laffoon will bring it across. Earlham now in a zone defense as they've come away from the man-to-man. Barnes, Wilson Thomas up top. Ashton gives to Laffoon. Knight, Laffoon. Laffoon kicks to Krieger. Knight, 5 on the clock. He'll let the 3 go. Rims out. Rebound goes into the Earlham bench. Sanborn back in for the Quakers as he replaces Zolman. Barnes. Waiting near the circle, 15 on the clock. Gets a screen from Wilson Thomas. Wilson Thomas now looks to attack Knight. Up with the left hand, a great finish from Wilson Thomas. And we're tied at 30. Ravens have the last shot if they want it. Buffoon dribbling in the circle. 10 on the clock. Buffoon finds Krieger. Corner three. No good. And Sanborn lets it fly from 3/4 court. No good. And we'll head to the half. Tied 30-30. So after both battled first half foul trouble, we'll see Lucas and Duncan back on the floor for AU playing with 2 apiece. As the starting lineup returns, Knight, Ashton, and Hartman join them on the floor. It will be AU basketball to begin the second half, as the Ravens have already taken the floor. Earlham comes out with their starters as well. Wilson Thomas, Sanborn, Spalding, Hutchinson, and Barnes. Duncan will inbound for the Ravens. Gives in to Knight. And the second half's underway. Staying scoreless in the first half. His pass stolen by Barnes running through the passing lane. Hutchinson hands off to Wilson Thomas. Wilson Thomas, top of the key, gives to Barnes. Good closeout from Lucas, prevents the 3. Barnes steps back between the legs, attacks Lucas, lost the handle, it's stolen by Duncan. Duncan pushes in transition. Euro steps up with the right hand, lays it in. Stan Duncan on the board, and the Ravens lead 32-30. Wilson Thomas flares on the left wing, gives to Sanborn. Now Stalling. Back to Barnes. Kicked back out to Hutchinson. 15-footer from Hutchinson straight on. He'll hit that all afternoon, as he's already done. He's got 16 on 7 of 10 shooting. Lucas to Knight. Now Ashton. Close to a 5 count, got to give it up. And he just does find Knight. Now Lucas on the right wing, sizes up Stalling. Into the teeth, his pass stolen by Hutchinson, and Hutchinson will push it in transition at Duncan. Duncan's run over by Hutchinson. And an offensive foul is called after the officials confer. So no basket by Hutchinson as they call charge. As Duncan did a great job of setting his feet in transition and beat Hutchinson to the spot. Basket will not count. That's Hutchinson's second personal. Lucas gives to Ashton. Ashton finds Duncan flaring into the corner. Duncan puts it on the floor, attacks up with the left hand, no good. Hartman ripped down the rebound but hit the floor. Ball still loose, secured by Lucas. Back up with the right hand, it rims out. And the rebound is Barnes. Barnes brings it across, now gives to Wilson Thomas. Hutchinson finds Barnes cutting back door. He beat Lucas and laid it in with the left hand. And Earlham's back in front, 34-32. 17:30 to play. Lucas attacks in transition. Now pulls it back out. Has it poked out of bounds by Stalling. Stays here. 22 seconds on the shot clock. Inbounded to Lucas. He faces up Stalling. Entry pass to Hartman. Hartman puts his shoulder down up with the left hand and lays it in. Hartman now in double figures. He's got a team high 11. 5 points away from 1,000. Wilson Thomas. Sanborn now swung to Stalling. Wilson Thomas on Knight. Has a step, kicks to Hutchinson. Another 15-footer for Hutchinson. Too strong. Rebound to Spalding, but he throws it ahead, and Lucas comes away with it. Lucas behind the back, fouled in transition. He found Duncan cutting to the basket. And Stalling will sub out, replaced by Stewart. As Barnes picking up the second foul. Knight to Duncan. Hartman with Stewart on his back. Up the left hand, he's fouled. And Cole will shoot two. That's Stewart's third foul. Cole's attempted one free throw this afternoon. 91% from the line on the season. Hits the first. Second free throw good as well. Ravens back in front, 36-34. Good defense from Duncan there, denying the passing lane. Now Stewart to Barnes. Looks to drive on Lucas, steps back. 9 on the clock. Wants a screen from Hutchinson. Lucas over the screen, now another. And Hutchinson rolls to the basket up with the right hand, lays it in just before the buzzer. Lucas. Duncan to Ashton. Ashton gives to Lucas at the top of the key. Lucas attacks the basket up with the right hand, no good. Rebound still loose, secured by Stewart. Lazy pass intended for Hutchinson, but it ends with Stewart as the Quakers dodge a break. Now Barnes. Rips through on Lucas, 10 on the clock. Another screen coming from Hutchinson. Hutchinson slips the screen and pass too far from Barnes. That's the 10th Earlham turnover. Laffoon back in the game, replaces Lucas. And Peters back in for AU, replaces Hartman. Laffoon. To Knight. Knight has a step on Wilson Thomas. Great pass inside to Ashton. Ashton up with the right hand, no good. And rebound Stallings. Barnes pushes back at Laffoon. Now finds the trailing Stalling. Blows by Peters up with the right hand. He lays it in. And Laffoon calls a timeout. 38-36, 14-33 to play. 30-second timeout called. Back from the timeout. Laffoon brings it across the timeline. Puts his head down, attacks the basket. A lot of contact, no call. Laffoon threw it back in bounds, but it was taken by Barnes. Barnes pushes it. Duncan pulls up from 15. Pull-up jump shot transition from Barnes is good. LaFoon to Knight. Knight nearly lost the handle, but LaFoon comes away with it. Goes down, keeps his dribble, and is now tied up. Possession arrow points to Earlham. And Krieger, Hartman, and Lucas into the game replaced LaFoon, Peters, and Ashton. Barnes brings it across. Gives to Stewart. He finds Wilson Thomas, has a step on Knight, attacks out of control, shot, no good. Lucas soars for the rebound. Duncan fouled in transition. Stewart reached in. That's Stewart's fourth, and the fourth team foul. Stewart subs out, replaced by Sanborn. Duncan gives to Krieger, top of the key. Lucas, deep three from the right wing. Rims out, is halfway down. Sanborn tracks down the rebound, and Barnes will again walk it across for the Quakers. Wilson Thomas to Hutchinson. Hutchinson gives to Barnes, slips the screen. Steps back on Hartman. Gives to Wilson Thomas on the right wing. Wilson Thomas has a step on Knight, and he's fouled. And that foul's on Knight. And it'll send Wilson Thomas to the line to shoot two. Wilson Thomas has 7. He's 3 of 7 from the field. Is yet to attempt a free throw. Averages 16.5 a game on the season. And a 92% free throw shooter. Hits the first. Earlham has their largest lead of 5. Second free throw good as well. Peters back in the game, replaces Knight. Pressure shown by the Quakers on the inbounds, but Lucas brings it across. Gives to Krieger, left wing. Krieger picks up his dribble, needs help. Close to a 5 count, finds Duncan, 13 on the clock. Duncan attacks the basket. Up at the reverse, but Duncan's called for a hook. But player control foul, that's Stan's 3rd foul. And that'll bring Davidson back in the lineup for AU as he replaces Duncan. Barnes again walks it across. Wilson Thomas faces up on Peters. Step back 3. Knocks it down. Tough shot from Wilson Thomas. And Lucas has it ripped away by Barnes. And Barnes lays it in with the left hand. And a timeout called by Coach Andy. Full timeout as Earlham's lead has swelled to 11. Ravens have dug themselves into a hole here as they trail by 11 now in the second half. Got some work to do. Hartman attacks the basket. Davidson no good, but gets his rebound, puts it back in, and one. As Davidson follows his initial miss, and he's headed to the line looking to complete the three-point play. That foul charge to Stalling Jr., that's his second. Davidson 2 of 2 from the line this afternoon. And rolls that one in, now 3 for 3. Davidson now with 7 points and 6 rebounds. Wilson Thomas. Now Spalding falls down but finds Barnes in the corner. His three over Lucas falls. Lucas. Krieger. Peters puts it on the deck. Now Krieger to Lucas. Lucas sizes up his man. Drives on Spalding. Good find to Davidson inside. Davidson lays it in. Stalling Jr. on Krieger. Gives to Barnes. Now Hutchinson. Jabs on Davidson. 13 on the clock. He pulls it out. Uses dribble, needs help. Good pressure from Davidson, but he finds Barnes. Barnes beats Lucas. Up at the left hand, lays it in. Poor defense there from Lucas. And leads back to 11. Krieger. Peters. Lucas crosses over on Stalling, attacks the basket up the left hand. Davidson rips down another offensive rebound, fades and hits. Davidson now joins Hartman in double figures. Got 11 points, 7 rebounds, but the Ravens now can't get stops. Hutchinson. Wilson Thomas. Jabs right on Peters, now puts it on the deck, looks to drive. And Peters called for the hand check. LaFoon back in the game, replaces Lucas. Inbound to Stalling. Stalling sizes up Krieger. Davidson fronts the post for Hutchinson, so it's skipped to Barnes. 10 on the clock. Barnes wants a ball screen. Loses the handle, but a foul's called. Foul's on LaFoon. That's the 4th team foul on the Ravens, first on Malik. Sanborn lobbed over the top to Hutchinson. It leads back to 11. LaFoon to Krieger. Peters finds Krieger cutting to the basket. Krieger kicks back to Hartman. He'll let the three go. Cole Hartman hits the three, and he's got 16. That puts him over 1,000 points for his career. He needed 16. And he's got it. So Cole Hartman, the 3rd Raven to join the 1,000-point club this season. Now Hutchinson picks up his dribble, gives to Wilson Thomas. Wilson Thomas now gives to Barnes. Barnes has a screen from Sanborn. Stalling. Hutchinson steps back on Davidson from 15. That's too long, and the rebound's Peters. Peters just giving it to LaFoon, but he's going to be called for the double dribble as he threw the pass ahead to LaFoon. Official says he passed to himself. Ashton back in the game as he replaces Davidson. but a timeout's called. It's 54-46, 8:57 to play. Back from the timeout, Peters, Krieger, Hartman, Laffoon, and Ashton for the Ravens. Stalling, Wilson Thomas, Barnes, Hutchinson, and Sanborn for the Quakers. Under 9 minutes to play, Earlham leads by 8, 54-46. Hutchinson backdoor to Wilson Thomas, and a great finish from Wilson Thomas on a beautiful bounce pass from Hutchinson, cutting backdoor. Peters puts it on the deck, needs help, finds Krieger. Krieger drives, gives to Laffoon. Laffoon attacks the basket, pulls up from 10, too strong. Ashton crashed for the rebound, but Hutchinson has it. Now Barnes. Laffoon comes away with the steal. Laffoon attacks the basket up with the left hand. And no foul called as the block is given. And now Earlham back in transition sets up their offense. Laffoon hit the deck hard there, but the officials say all ball. Now Hutchinson puts it on the deck, goes right at Hartman, and one. Earlham's lead now 10. Peters, Krieger, and Laffoon out of the game. So the Ravens now have Hartman, Knight, Ashton, Lucas, and Duncan in the game. Hutchinson Jr. with 22 points. Looks to complete the three-point play. Does so. And Earlham's lead now 13, the largest they've had. Duncan spins. His pass inside intended for Hartman, stolen by Barnes. Ravens' hope for a berth in the conference tournament could be on the line in these final 7:30. They've got to start getting some stops. Barnes attacks, has it poked free by Hartman. Lucas hits the deck, spins off Barnes in transition, and it's turned over, and now ahead to Barnes, and a technical foul issued to Coach Handy. The whistle blew before the basket attempt. So there was no foul in transition as the technical foul was called. Whistle blown. Stop transition. Ravens catch a break there as Earlham had a transition layup that would have been uncontested. So it'll be Earlham basketball after they shoot the free throws. Wilson Thomas at the line to shoot the technical free throw. Hits the first. Second free throw coming from Wilson Thomas. Rattles out, and Wilson Thomas has 15. And a timeout called by the Ravens. 60-46, 7 minutes to play. Out of the timeout, AU has Lucas, Duncan, Knight, Hartman, and Ashton on the floor. And for the Quakers, it's Barnes, Stalling, Sanborn, Hutchinson, and Wilson Thomas. Sanborn. Wilson Thomas, Stalling drives, shoved his feet on the catch. Duncan gives into Lucas. Ashton rips through, needs help, gives to Lucas. Lucas thought about the three. Now one dribble pull up, knocks it down, cuts it to 11, 6.5 to play. Wilson Thomas, Sanborn. Now Stalling, jabs left on Duncan. Back to Barnes. Barnes has a step on Lucas, pulls up from 12 and hits. Barnes now with 13 after he started 0 of 3. He's now 6 of 9. Converted on his last 6 tries. Duncan gives to Knight. Knight drives baseline up with the reverse. Mo Knight, a good take to the basket. The Ravens got to get a stop. Earlham shooting 58%. Knight nearly came away with the steal, but Wilson Thomas comes away with the basketball, kicks to Hutchinson, wide open from the baseline, no good. And Lucas has the rebound. Lucas sizes up Stallings, now gives to Ashton. Ashton lets a deep three go. Brady Ashton from downtown hits the three. It's an 8-point game, and a timeout called by the Quakers. 5:11 to play, 62-54. Line up on the floor for you. Now Barnes. Wilson Thomas right. That's way off. Everything. ends in the hands of Stalling. He kicks back to Barnes. Didn't hit the rim. Now reset. Well, now it was to reset the clock. I think that hit the rim, but the officials reset the clock anyway. And now the officials have come together to discuss. And they'll put 27. They'll put 27 seconds on the shot clock. Barnes. Now Sanborn. Eight on the clock. Barnes wants a screen from Hutchinson. Rejects it, now gets another. Barnes, a long two. Missed it short, but the rebound's to Wilson Thomas, and he lays it back in. Back to a 10-point game with 4:15 to play. Lucas turns the corner on Stalling, up with the right hand. A lot of contact, and now the whistle blows, and Lucas will head to the free throw line. That's Hutchinson's third foul, sixth team foul. Trevor will shoot two. He's 2 of 2 from the line this afternoon. 82% on the season. First half, Earlham only shot 44% from the floor. They're up to 55%. Had a great second period. As Lucas hits the first. They're 14 of 20 from the field this half. Second free throw from Lucas is good as well. It's back to 8. 4 minutes to play. Hutchinson gives to Wilson Thomas. Wilson Thomas steps back into a deep three from straight on, and Lucas has the rebound, his fourth. Lucas gives to Duncan. Duncan gives to Ashton, flaring. Ashton nearly mishandled the catch, tracks down, gives to Lucas. Lucas crosses over on Stalling, attacks the basket up with the left hand. It's blocked, but he gets his rebound. Kicks it out to Knight. Knight, right wing three. Yes, Mo Knight from downtown. Timeout called, 30-second timeout. 3:24 to play, 64-59. Earlham leads. Barnes will bring it across for the Quakers. 3:20 to play. Ravens got to get a stop here, trailing by 5. Gives to Wilson Thomas. Now Hutchinson, top of the key. Barnes has a screen from Hutchinson. He gives to Sanborn. Sanborn, 10 on the clock, finds Stalling wide open back door. He kicks it out to Wilson Thomas, left wing three. And the three is good. Leads back to 8. Lucas on the left wing. Gives to Duncan. Hartman. Hands to Lucas. Lucas fouled by Stalling. That's his 3rd foul on the 7th team. Lucas will head to the line to shoot the 1-and-1. Front end of the 1-and-1 from Lucas. Rolls out. Can't afford to leave that on the board. Now Earlham content to take time off the clock. We're under 2:30 to play. Sanborn. Stalling. Crosses over on Duncan. Attacks the basket, has a step, and up with the right hand, and it's back to a double-digit game. 2:14 to play. Lucas steps into a 3, hits from the right wing, it's down to 7, and 2:06 to play. Full timeout called by AU. Ravens will pick up full court. Stalling can run the baseline on the inbounds if need be off the made basket. Does do so, and he gives to Barnes. Earlham will take it under 2 minutes to play with this possession. Now Barnes pulls it back out, picks up his dribble, needs help. Finds Hutchinson in front of the Earlham bench. 15 on the clock. Hutchinson drives baseline on Hartman. Up with the right hand. Lays it in and one. Just too big and too strong. And it's back to 9. Hutchinson now with 25, chance to make it 26. Left it short, Lucas has the rebound. Lucas gets a screen from Duncan. 3 from the right wing. He hits another. The Ravens got to pick up. Lucas picks up Barnes. Barnes breaks the timeline. Now a screen from Hutchinson. Barnes goes away from it. Steps back on Lucas. His pull-up rims out. Hartman nearly lost the rebound out of bounds, but gets it to Lucas. Ravens got to go, down 6, a minute 10 to play. Lucas steps back on Barnes. Don't settle, but they got to go quick. Under a minute now. Krieger finds Duncan in the corner. Entered inside to Hartman. Hartman on Hutchinson. Is fouled by Stalling, digging down, and Hartman will head to the line for the 1-and-1. That timeout called with 53.9 left, and Hartman headed to the line. 71-65, Earlham leads. Ravens got to have this free throw from Hartman, and he misses. The 92% free throw shooter misses the 1-and-1. And now Lucas concedes the foul. So Barnes will shoot the 1-and-1 for the Quakers. Left it short. Ravens have gotten some breaks from the free throw line, but they've missed 2 1-and-1s between Lucas and Hartman that they needed. Duncan hit the 3, but they say he was out of bounds on the catch. So no basket. Barnes throws it ahead to Stalling. He's all alone, and he bangs home the dunk. And the Earlham fans, which traveled well today, sense victory. Get loud on the dunk. Lucas 3, dies on the rim. Hartman rips down the rebound, goes back up the left hand, no good. Gets another rebound. And the foul is called on Barnes. No, instead the foul is called on Duncan. And it'll send Barnes to the line. Or he'll shoot the 1-and-1. Barnes hits the first free throw. He's now got 14. He hits both. Now Lucas will push for the Ravens. Gets to the rim, misses the dunk. Knight with the rebound to Hartman, and Hartman will lay it in. Now Hutchinson. He's fouled. Nope. Instead, the whistle was a timeout call. Timeout was called by Barnes, and that's a full timeout. 16.3 seconds of play. 67-65, Earlham leads. Back from the timeout. Barnes inbounds to Stallings. And he's fouled by Duncan. And that's Duncan's 5th foul. And now the Earlham fans really getting loud inside of O.C. Lewis. With victory imminent, 14.8 seconds to play. Laffoon checks back in and replaces Duncan. First free throw's short from Stalling. 12 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists from Stalling this afternoon. A well-rounded effort. 6 of 7 from the field. Missed both free throws. Knight gives to Lucas. Lucas steps into a 3 and hits. And the timeouts. Ravens have already broken the huddle. (75-70), 8.8 seconds to play. Barnes will inbound. He can run the baseline. Ravens gonna have to make something miraculous happen here. Barnes runs the baseline, inbounds to Wilson Thomas. And he's fouled. Wilson Thomas 3 of 4 from the line this afternoon. Been pretty much automatic on the season. 92%. Hits the first. It's a 6-point game. If he hits this, he can make it a 3-possession game. And put this game on ice. And he does. 77-70. Lucas. Deep 3. That's short. Rebound Sanborns. And Earlham will leave O.C. Lewis with a 77-70 victory. AU below 500 now on both the season and in conference. They're 9-10, 4-8 in conference play. Earlham improves to 6-13, 4-8 in the conference. So AU's hopes for making the conference tournament take a hit this afternoon with a tough loss. Trevor Lucas had 21 points on 6 of 15 shooting. Cole Hartman with 18 on 7 of 10. And Wes Davidson with 11 points and 7 rebounds on 4 of 6 shooting. And 12 solid minutes off the bench. Darrell Hutchison Jr. led the Quakers with 25 points on 11 of 17 shooting. Elijah Wilson Thomas added 22. And Jamel Barnes added 15. Quakers shoot 56% from the floor, AU 45%. Earlham 4 of 14 from 3, AU 8 of 18. Earlham 11 of 18 from the free throw line, AU 12 of 14. 27 rebounds for the Quakers, 33 for the Ravens. 13 team turnovers for Earlham and 19 for AU. So a tough loss here for AU as Coach Handy's making his way over to the scorer's table. Coach, a tough one here this afternoon, a game that was tied 30-30 at the half, and then Earlham pulled away down the stretch. What went wrong in the second half?
Well, we scored 6 points in the first, 7.5 minutes of the second half. I mean, we stopped moving the basketball. We turned it over a ton, and I mean, we defended well enough for a while to stay in the game, but we just aren't a very good basketball team right now. I mean, 19 turnovers, 5 for Trev, 5 for Stan, in 44 combined minutes. 5 turnovers in 22, 5 turnovers in 22. Neither of them played much in the first half. Maybe we've been better off not playing them in the second half. I don't know.
And then now 4-8 in the conference, now tied with Earlham and then Franklin, of course, with 2 head-to-head victories. What's it going to take in these final 6 games to pick up some wins and find that 6th spot in the conference tournament?
I mean, I'm less worried about that and just more worried about having a team that plays well. I mean, we're just not a very good basketball team right now.
All right, Coach, good luck the rest of the way. We'll see you back here against Defiance on Wednesday night. Good luck. Hope you come away with a win on Wednesday.
Okay, thanks, Alec.
So a tough defeat here for AU, 77-70, as they fall to 9-10 on the season and 4-8 in conference. That's all we've got for you here this afternoon. I'm Alec Brown. Thanks for being with us.